Hi, how are you today? This is Matthew from Love Buddy. Love is alive, a live broadcast from Philippines. Here it's 10 a.m. here in the Philippines, June 1st, 2019. It's 10 p.m. in New York on May 31st, 2019. On a, what would that be? That would be a Friday night. This is a Saturday morning here. And I want to talk about the love qualities, the qualities of love. This is kind of the core foundation. This is the core philosophy, if you will, if you want to put a philosophy, put that label philosophy on it. Although I try not to be so structured about love. I try not to be so dogmatic. I don't want to be dogmatic, and I don't want to be about rules or right or wrong, good or bad, any of that. There's just the love qualities. And this is my website, Love Buddy website, and this is the web page for the qualities of love. On the phone, looks better on the phone than it does on the desktop. Most people are using their phones these days, so I have it formatted for that. And not sophisticated enough right now to make it so that it looks really nice on any platform. So best off just looking at it on the smartphone. But anyway, it talks about the qualities of love. Now, right now, there are 68 different qualities of love so far that we've defined. And these qualities are guidelines. They're ideas, they're proposals. There are potential ways to be. If you are in a situation where someone does something that makes you feel, hey, they cut in front of me, or hey, that's not my space, or they took my seat, or what, whatever, something people might do in public, and then how are you going to react to that? If the neighbor, if you have trouble with the neighbor's dog, or you have trouble with the neighbor, what if you have trouble with your boss or a coworker? How about, in the rare, I know I'm really stretching reality here, but what if it's a situation where your mate in life, your significant other, your wife or husband or boyfriend or girlfriend, your partner does something that makes you less than overjoyed? How do you handle that? What do you do? What's the guide? How do you decide how to behave? Well, when I was involved in religion, I looked to religion to answer that question. And every religion, every philosophy, formal framework that I was involved in didn't really give any guidance at all that really made sense. And then you had to fall back on, I remember when I was a Jehovah's Witness, they had elders that were not that old. Some of them were older, but they weren't necessarily full of wisdom, I would say. We're not necessarily full of wisdom. And my experience with being a Jehovah's Witness, and I was 16, 17 years old at the time, I didn't get the kind of guidance that I needed, that I was looking for, that was going to be helpful to me. And so I was kind of lost, and I was kind of unaware what to do. I didn't have a framework. I didn't have a foundation. And so when challenging situations came up, not only were the people that I was sharing this faith with, sharing this cult, if you want to call it that, or religion, not only was there not a framework for us to go by that was very clear about how to behave and how to manage life, how to manage ourselves, how to be who we are, how to be the best version of who we are, self-actualization, self-understanding, self-communication, nurturing, empowerment. There was none of that. There was literally zero of that. And what ruled the day was dogma. And there was a constant study. We did 5 hours a week. That's minimum. You're going to do 5 hours a week in that particular group. And when I came to situations in life, I was dating a girl at the time who was 4 years my senior. I was 17 years old. And we'd be alone at her house. She lived alone. She had a cat. And man, temptation, to have sex was really hard for me. And I went to one of the elders in the group, and I told him that. And he said, "You better not be having sex. I'll break your arm." This was the level. He was what was it called? Ministerial servant at the time. He wasn't considered an elder. Shortly thereafter, they made him an elder. But that was the kind of nurturing I got. That was the kind of framework I had. That was how I was taught to handle the physical urges that I had, the sexual urges that I had, that I knew was going to get me in trouble, and it did. It ended up really getting me into a lot of trouble. It was like getting hit by a bus when I was 17 years old. So bad situation all around. And there was no framework there. There was no consciousness. There was focus on a 2,000-year-old book that had nothing to do with what I was going through. If it did, I had to really, would have really had to read into it. So anyway, long story short, when I looked for nurturing, when I looked for guidance, when I looked for a framework for life, there wasn't one there. There was no framework. And there was a lot of dogma. So I got to memorize a lot of Bible scriptures. I got to memorize a lot of the dogma, a lot of the, let's say, the beliefs of that particular religion. And I had all those beliefs in my mind because we studied them all the time, as I mentioned. 5 hours minimum meetings. That's meetings alone, but you got to study for the meetings. You got to do homework for the meetings, and you got to go through a book, circle the answers, write down the answers, be prepared to answer in the group. There's this constant indoctrination. There was no guidance at all, no nurturing that I found. So anyway, this is one of the reasons why I really feel good about the love qualities, because they give us specific guidance and they empower us to make decisions. They keep us conscious about our own lives, and they keep us aware of what's going on. And the whole world is full of information that we can access, right? But if we don't access that information, if we don't know how to access that information, if we don't know how to manage our time and manage our resources and take care of ourselves and love ourselves, all the information on the internet, for example, it's worthless to us, because instead of looking at this one thing from this viewpoint, we're going to be looking at another from a whole other viewpoint. And it's not going to be empowering us. It's not going to make us help us to make the right decision that's going to be beneficial, not only for ourselves, but for other parties as well. Some of the qualities of love, I'm just going to look at it right here. Let's see, one by one. I'll hit that button. That's going to give me a drop-down list, so that I have this little drop-down list right here. And the first one is called accepting, and then it has the name of the quality. Accepting means embracing instead of resisting, so acceptance. Then there's a description. There's more of a definition about that. Then there's an example, specific examples of that love quality. And then there's how to. If we want to have more acceptance in our lives, instead of a resistance, instead of putting up walls, instead of maybe being prejudiced. I know little about that, but when I get the feeling I don't like it, or what I've heard I don't like it, even though they don't know. And this is the basis of prejudice. I've never met a prejudiced person, and I can't conceive of prejudice of someone who really is familiar with that other race that they're talking about. So people who don't like people of a certain skin color, they don't know. I mean, I know a lot of Americans that are anti-Muslim. They haven't got a single Muslim friend. They've never lived in a Muslim country like I have. I mean, I'm exposed. I've just lived with these people and dealt with them on a daily basis for years. So even though I'm not a Muslim myself, I don't follow Islam. I've been around enough to kind of know, I know a lot about it, at least the way it is practiced in Malaysia, and a little bit the way it's practiced in Pakistan. And I know a little bit about how it's practiced in Kuwait and in Dubai and in Egypt. Spent some time there. So I've seen some of the differences in the way they practice. But anyway, you know it firsthand, and you don't feel prejudiced. So if you're accepting, you're open, you're going to learn about other things, other people, and you're going to be open to the internet. So anyway, I like to say, oh, I agree with that. I think because I read over here that Here's an explanation for that, and this is what here's what I subscribe to, the truth that I subscribe to. So just because you have your information available to you, and you're accepting and you're open to that, it doesn't make you any weaker about finding out what the real situation is, and especially that real situation as it applies to you. All it does is it makes you open to not being closed-minded and not saying, oh, all Asians are this way, and you've never been to Asia, and you've never really been around Asian people much, and you're trying to make some generality. Because you're not really open and accepting to other viewpoints, other ideas. So acceptance is a really vital quality of love, and it gives us part of the framework to know how we can be a loving person. Here's another quality, it's called being available, not shutting ourselves off, not always saying I'm too busy, I don't have time for you, I don't have time for that. Love is available. We make ourselves available to other people. Now I get messages, and I'm getting more and more messages all the time as more and more people are interested in the Love Buddy project. And I know there's going to be a point in time where I'm not going to be able to personally respond to everything that everybody asks of me. But I'm going to do my best to be as available as possible in as many ways as possible, because love is available. It's not, oh, I don't have time because, you know, I'm going in my Learjet to blah, 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 or I'm going to go, you know, get away from the people. Because part of being loving and part of what I'm doing is sharing with people and being available to other people and being able to have interactions, being exposed to other people. I don't know how we could ever be too important or too busy to deal with others. You know, we take time for our family, we take time for, you know, our kids, we take time for our siblings, you know, we take time for our parents, we take time for our friends where we can, we take time for all the people that we deal with in our community. So love is available. Love doesn't shut itself off, because being available to others is one of the key, most important learning experiences in life, enriching experiences in life. And it's a compassionate thing to do. Okay, so I'm just going to buzz through some of these here. Love is available. Love is being appreciative, which is a lot like being thankful, a lot like being grateful, a little bit different twist on it. So some of these are a little bit, they're not redundant, but there's some overlap with some other qualities. But we hit it from two angles. Love acts. Love is active. So love does things. Love doesn't sit back and isolate itself. Love gets in the mix. Love gets involved. Love doesn't sit in the field, or love doesn't sit in the stands and watch what's going on in the field. Love is active. Love acts. Love is calm. Calmness is a real important thing, because if we feel kind of emotionally caught up in something, we feel emotionally distracted. Maybe we feel stressed out, or we feel worried, or we feel angry, or we feel resentful, or we feel some qualities like that. It's going to stop us from physical health, and it's going to stop us from being able to interact with others in a kind way, in a respectful way, in a considerate manner, in a compassionate manner, because we're all caught up in our own emotion. So getting calm, being calm inside is a really vital part of being able to love others. Caring. Communicating. Talked about communicating a little bit before. Communication is huge. The ability to speak your mind and the ability to listen to others. The ability to interact with others and learn, share, and exchange information. Exchange. They give you information, you give them information, you're both enriched by that process. Very, very little can get done without communication. We have a lot of tools now, not only technology, but we just have the ability to speak and communicate. The ability to interact with others in so many ways that we can really, if we take advantage of that, it really helps us to work in harmony and live in harmony with others. Love is considerate. Love is easygoing. Easygoing. Not getting stressed out about this little thing. It's no big deal. Let it go. Love lets it go. Love is easygoing about things. Love is empathetic. Love can feel other people's pain. Love is sensitive to other people's pain. Love is aware of other people's pain, and love can see, wow, you're open, right? You're accepting. You're open to the point to where someone's telling you something that they're going through, and you're able to feel that and be in touch with that and care about that. Love is empathetic. And yeah, there's a downside to that, because if somebody's really upset and they're really sad about something, they're really going through something really horrible, if we're empathetic, we're going to feel some of that too. And that's one of the qualities of love, is being able to feel some of that. It's not going to kill us, it's not going to destroy us. It only makes us more loving. We'll be okay. We'll be all right. No need to worry. Love is fearless. Love isn't afraid to try this, try that, do this, do that. Love isn't afraid of rejection. Love isn't afraid of being wrong. Love isn't afraid of making mistakes. Betty, thank you. How could this be applied when talking to an anti-abortion troll? It's so hard to hear someone's views, knowing they feel your rights should be taken and have no empathy for women. Betty, you and I have been friends for years now, and I love your comments. And you have such a, I just want to tell you for a second, I don't know why I'm getting chills. I guess I just feel really passionate about you as a person, because you're just really right out there, and you're really courageous. And I really love that about you. And I never got a chance to say it. It's so great. You made this comment. I'm not a live video. I can just tell you to your face. I think you're really great. I think you're really cool. I just love who you are. You're like nobody else. I mean, maybe I've got like 4,980 friends or something like that on my Facebook page. You're like one of the top 10 that is totally cool. So anyway, apply when talking to an anti-abortion troll. Okay, so here's the abortion thing, right? I mean, this is such, you're very welcome. I really love you. You're so cool. This abortion thing, this might piss you off, or, it's hard to talk about abortion without pissing people off. But when it comes to the love qualities, we've got to be respectful. That's one of the things that I try to apply. Even if I think what the person, maybe I don't really think that, but I get the impulse in my mind to say, this guy is nuts, that he says this, he believes in that, he thinks this, so that maybe that could be our initial thought. And if somebody thinks that they can control our body, women's bodies, when it comes to abortion, the people that are anti-abortion that I've met, they're not big on adopting, are they? They're not big on taking care of babies. I haven't never seen that. The people who are really compassionate and sensitive, they take care of babies. They don't complain about abortion. So it seems like it's a very self-righteous thing to do a lot of the times, from what I see. I'm not sure everybody's that way, but I think if you have compassion for children, you'd probably open an orphanage instead of standing outside a clinic and holding up pictures of fetuses to people that are in a crisis. When it comes to abortion, I'm not pro-abortion, I'm not against abortion, but full disclosure, I've gotten a couple girls pregnant before and they had abortions. And so I've been party to that. I don't feel good about it. I don't feel right about it. I have a little baby now that I've adopted, and she's just so absolutely wonderful. Babies are fantastic. Babies are beautiful. Then there's something about babies that actually transcends anything on this earth. There's a place that babies take you, and they're so cute. I have no filter. I try to kill them with kindness, but damn, the slut shaming is like a stick poking my side. It is, and it's really self-righteous. And I'm not going to say that it's right to have an abortion. Who am I? And I'm not going to say that it's wrong, because, again, who am I? Not only am I a man, I don't even have a uterus, right? So it's not up to me. It's not my body. But also, even if I was a woman, I would think I would have the right to talk about my own body, not other people. Now, this gets into a little bit of a gray area, because if the neighbors are beating their kids, then I want to kind of stand up for that. I want to stand up for those kids. If those kids are on their way to school, I might grab them and say, hey, you shouldn't be being beat by your parents. If you see somebody being abused, you see somebody hurt, part of love is having compassion and taking action, protecting people that are being hurt. When it comes to an unborn baby, when it comes to a fetus, like I say, abortion is kind of like amputation. Nobody wants to do it. And I kind of leave that up to other people. So when it comes to applying love to this thing of abortion, I try to be really respectful to people. And I try to say, okay, I understand, a lot of these people are born again Christians, or they're very strong in their religions. and they say that this is, it's murder, and that's really what they feel. And so what can you do when you disagree with somebody so much? What can you do on such a sensitive topic? One of the things that I like to bring up is it's a hypothetical situation. Look, I'm not pregnant right now. You're not pregnant right now. Let's deal with specific situations. Even in the case of rape, I mean, somebody, some brutal jerk off rapes a woman and gets her pregnant, and she's supposed to carry the baby full term? She can if she wants. People have done that, and it has worked for them. So what do we say? Can we make trying to think of being loving here, we can't make cold, hard decisions. And this is one of the very ridiculously stupid things that I think is about politics and having a president or having a Supreme Court that's making decisions about individuals. Things like marijuana. What a big screw up that has been for so many years. Look at the cannabis oil and how many people are being helped by that. Look at how many people were smoking anyway. They got thrown in jail for that. Some people serving life prison sentences for smoking marijuana or being in possession of this weed, right? So when it comes to abortion, when we try to adjudicate 350 million people from one seat, it's absolutely ridiculous. It doesn't work. Every situation is different. I use the illustration, it's like ordering pizza for everybody. You don't know what I want on my pizza, and I don't know what I want today, and maybe it's going to be different tomorrow. It's none of your freaking business. So that's how I feel about the government. That's how I feel about these laws. And that's what I feel about when it comes to something like abortion or a gun. Guns scare me. I've shot guns before. I have some experience with guns, but not much. And I'm not very good with guns. I'm not trained. And I've used guns before in target practice. And I don't own a gun. Guns kind of scare me, but there are good friends of mine that have really thought this through. And I know them for 30 years. Not 30 years. Yeah, 30 years I've known these guys. They're lawyers now. When I knew them, they used to be selling me computer parts because I was building computers. Great family. The father and the two sons are lawyers. Anyway, they're very pro-gun. They're very pro-gun freedom. And, they're totally decided. And I respect that. And I think they're very well informed. And when I ask them questions online, they're very helpful. Anyway, back to abortion. Let's see. I just saw a new video where a woman feels that the anti-abortion is really an attempt for the white race to keep their numbers up. See, this is another thing that I don't know. I'm not into races. I don't care what color you are. You're a human being, you're a human being. I don't care what color you are. It doesn't matter to me. So I'm not afraid of the white race disappearing completely. I'm not afraid of any race disappearing completely. I don't think it's good for the human race to disappear completely, but who cares? I don't know where people are coming from. So this is really a crazy kind of a thing, this abortion thing. And it's horrible that people are trying to force other people to follow their rules. And yeah, if a kid's getting beat next door, I can hear the kid screaming. I'm going to want to do something about that. And I think that it would be loving to do something about that. Someone's helpless, innocent, getting beat up, getting abused. And that's where I think some of this energy comes from, is anti-abortion, because that's a little baby growing in there if everything goes right. It's going to be a baby if everything goes right. And so I think it's a gray area. And so answer your question after I'm just blabbing on and on here. Betty, my opinion is this, and you're not automatically like this. You're not naturally a person, because like you speak spontaneous, you speak from the heart, you speak very, frankly. You're a very frank person in your expression. And if somebody says something like that, especially they're trying to make you feel guilty, make you feel wrong, I think that's screwed up. Don't ever feel guilty. Don't ever feel wrong. That's no one's right to do that. We can be open. We can be vulnerable. We can say, oh, so you think I'm a stupid idiot? You think I'm a baby killer? You think, okay, I hear you and I understand where you're coming from. And I'm really sorry that you feel that way, because I love babies and I've got a child that I take care of, or blah, 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 whatever, And I understand that you feel that way. And I appreciate you telling me what your opinion is, but that's all it is. It's just their opinion. So we can be kind, we can be respectful, we can be compassionate, we can be understanding, even to a hater who's trying to make us feel bad. And sometimes it helps to point out, I've pointed this out before, and maybe it's not a really kind thing. Maybe, I don't know, I'm a little bit on the fence, but sometimes I say, you're not trying to make me feel bad, are you? Because I don't feel bad about who I am. A lot of times that'll just shut somebody down. And sometimes they'll get a chance to think. If they are not so full of hate, they'll get a chance to think, wait a second, where am I going? What am I accomplishing with this? And maybe they'll just say, this idiot's not going to listen, they move on. Whatever it is, compassion, respect, kindness, listening, understanding, which I got to do here because I missed one of your comments here. I love smoking. Yeah, I used to smoke, but I don't do it anymore. I think it's illegal here in the Philippines anyway, but too horny, too many munchies, and I need every conscious brain cell I've got. But I definitely started smoking when I was a kid. So my brother turned me on to that. Okay, I hate guns, but the abortion laws have been make me think that I may need to protect myself because I feel, people are getting emboldened. Yeah, well, I don't know if abortionists, I know, what do these guys do? They blow up clinics sometimes. They shoot doctors. One abortion doctor was killed. That was many years ago. So it's amazing how people that are anti-killing are killing. But the government sets an example for that with the death penalty. This guy's so bad for killing, we're going to kill him. I don't get it. We don't have to let somebody run loose and kill everybody. This isn't a black and white kind of a decision. The decision here would be being compassionate and being respectful and protecting people that are vulnerable. If this guy's a trained killer, he's going to kill you. You want to protect people from this kind of a person. But it seems like people that are really, really staunch anti-abortionists, they're up for murder. They're up for that, some of them. A lot of times in a few situations, feel the parents are burdened, they need help, and they don't have the help they need. So it's not necessarily that the kids need to be taken away, but the parents need support systems so they're not so stressed out. Absolutely. I mean, that's a really great insight. If the parents are beating the kid, my first thing is be compassionate for the kid. But you hit it dead on, something that I didn't really think of, and that is those parents need help too. They don't need to be thrown in jail, or they don't need to be fined or locked up or lose their kid, which happens a lot, even if the parent is not doing something wrong. Family services or whatever it's called gets upset, or they get misinformed. And like invading Iraq, for example, or Libya, they go in and they go in and destroy based upon false information. So anyway, the parents definitely deserve compassion, and if they are beating a kid, they probably were beat themselves. They're probably at their wits' end. They probably need all the compassion in the world, understanding, nurturing, kindness, in order to know how to treat that kid and in order how to be better parents. Because I'm sure in their heart, unless they're 0.0001% of the world, that's like a Mengele or whatever they want to torture and they're sadistic or something like that, which by far nobody is. There are just very few people like that in the world. These parents feel like hell for doing that. They feel terrible. I know times that I've been rude and abusive to people, said rude things, done rude things, and I've done that. I mean, I don't know about you, but that's one of the things that I really feel horrible about. And I'm sure the parents, if they do that, they feel bad about that too. So parents need the love too. It's easier said than done. Just ask a woman going through hormones, PMS, pregnancy. Hormones are a bitch. That makes me a bitch. Yeah. Well, I don't even have that situation, and I can be a bitch too. So totally understand that and respect that. And I guess when it comes to when it comes to this abortion thing, here's what it is. If it was a black and white situation, certain things are illegal. Like beating to somebody to death. I'm trying to think of an example that the police don't do. Police beat somebody to death, and they get paid to do that. So, but in general, there's certain things that are illegal. They're black and white. But when it comes to abortion, we could say that it's illegal, black and white. It's in the laws. But what's the right thing? What's the wrong thing? This is why the laws in the country, and we've got huge. How big is the tax code? And taxes Income tax is stealing your money that you made, that you earned. You have no choice about it. And spending it on anything you want to spend it on. And there's a huge tax code around that. That's about how much laws make sense to me. Most of your people are going to be law-abiding. They're going to be considerate of others. They're not going to drive like a maniac. People are afraid that if we didn't have the legal system the way we had it, that everything would be total chaos. No, maybe the people that are afraid of the chaos are chaotic persons themselves. That's projection. But actually, most of us want to be good. We want to be good. And if we have relationships with our community, we have respect for each other, we're all getting along just fine without huge tax code and all kinds of laws and things like that. So, when you are rude enough, used to argue, often in a state where you're in a bad mood, you're going to go through hard times, and somebody is rude to me, I try to remember, I think, why would I act like that? Often come to the understanding they're likely stressed out. They need understanding more than they need me getting all upset at that. It's, I'm tearing up a little bit because that's such a compassionate way to be. And I guess one of the reasons why it's affected me so much emotionally, you sharing that, is because so many times I've been such a jerk off, such an asshole to somebody who was having a rough day because they weren't conforming to the way I thought they should be. I thought they should be cheerful. This is a side of me that is really, I'm not proud of. And absolutely somebody who's being that way. Yeah, we really, if we have understanding, if we have calmness, which I haven't had most of my life, and now I'm starting to do that. I'm starting to be able to be calm. And my fiance, she's so calm. She's never complained about anything ever. She's not a complainer. Absolute opposite of me. And just being around her and just trying to understand love and get more with the love principles and understand the love principles, apply love to my life, it has made me such a more calm person, such a more kind, considerate, compassionate person when it comes to McDonald's and ordering food. And I'm super passionate. I used to work at McDonald's, and I'm just a Nazi about doing everything right because I love having a great system that really works, and I really respect McDonald's system when it's done right. Anyway, when somebody's breaking all the rules and they're doing everything wrong, it's really a sensitive area for me. And I have been rude and inconsiderate and pushy and really lacking compassion to people before. So, yeah, and this is one of the reasons why the influence of my girlfriend, fiance, watching how she is, and me having the chance to understand the qualities of love, which have always been there. I've always kind of known about it, but I never had that as the framework for my life. It makes all the difference in the world. I'm getting better. I'm actually not the total asshole that I was. Not total. So anyway, thank you so much, Betty, for sharing. I got to wrap it because I got a 30-minute limit on this thing. So thank you. I love you. I love all of you for listening and watching. Thank you so much for participating, giving me feedback. Obviously, you can see I'm in a learning process here. I'm just blabbing, sharing what I know. This is a conversation, right? Talk about love. We talk about how to be a better person. It's going to make the world a better place. I want to be part of that. I want to be one of the people that does that. Betty, just stop striving for perfect. Accept that I'm human. Yeah, that's self-love, right? Accepting us for who we are, even though I've got all these flaws. And I don't want to conform to society standards and just be me apologetically. And yeah, I felt that a lot. I mean, not only society, but all the religions I was in, trying to conform to that. It just didn't feel right. It just wasn't right. And being aware of the qualities of love, like being compassionate, being respectful, being kind, listening, communicating. These are all cool things that I could totally sign up for. Yeah, check, check, check. I want to be all those. I want to do all those. And I want to try to remind myself when I need to what can be a respectful way to be in this situation, even though that person may not be respectful to me. How can I return love when I feel like I'm not being loved? I got an infinite love inside. We all have it. So if we tap into it, it's there. And I think that's going to make the world a better place. So anyway, Okay, tomorrow's my birthday. Oh, okay, great. Yeah, say hi to me as I get wasted. All right. Happy birthday tomorrow. I'll send you a free ebook like I'd like to do with my friends on Facebook that are having birthdays. And this is an ebook about love and some ideas about love. So anyway, I'll send you that because I know you'll be in my list. And anyway, thanks again. Have a wonderful day. Happy birthday, Betty. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I'll see you guys tomorrow again. 10 p.m. New York time, 10 a.m. China, Philippines time, and whatever that is in your part of the world. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. This is Matthew from Love Buddy. I love you. I love you, Betty. Take care. See you. Yes.